Hi, everyone. I'm Shauna Miller, and I will be your tour guide today on the Mason City Schools Personalized Learning 5 Design Elements Tour Bus. Before we begin our tour, you may be wondering what is the purpose of this tour and do I want to get on this bus? The purpose of this tour is to give you a brief overview of the 5 design elements of personalized learning so you feel a bit more comfortable with the vision for personalized learning and how the 5 elements work together. How personalized learning intersects with our other big rock work, how your own strengths will help you support educators and learners in the transition into a personalized learning culture, and how to inspire you to want to learn more. So if you are ready, let's get this tour started. Our first stop on our tour is to revisit our why for personalized learning. Our why is to develop lifelong self-navigating learners that continually seek opportunities to contribute to society, find meaningful solutions to problems, invent their own ideas, and find enjoyment through social connections where they explore their interests and passions. Embracing personalized learning is the learning culture that will encourage, nurture, engage, and cultivate these dynamic learners. As we travel to our next stop, let me call your attention to a couple of tools that you might find helpful along our journey today. Please find in your seat back pocket a few items. The first tool is 7 Elements of Personalized Learning Slider Model. This tool is a multifaceted tool. It can be used by both educator and learner. We will reference it often on our journey. It is important because it allows the educator and learner to determine the appropriate level of educator and learner creation or design based on a variety of factors and can be altered frequently along the learning journey. Please keep this tool handy. The next tool is our definition of personalized learning. The key word to focus on today is progressively, which means to move steadily and in stages. The next tool are the 4 attributes of a personalized learning culture. These are things that we want to look for as we move progressively into a personalized learning culture. They are voice, co-creation, self-discovery, and social construction. The next tool are the Mason City Schools Difference Makers. This tool is a great reference to refer to as well as we go on our journey today, because we want to consider the skills and mindsets that are necessary to help develop self-navigating learners and outcomes in our personalized learning plan. Now that you have some of the tools that you might find handy, we have arrived at our next stop. The first design element, the learner profile. The learner profile allows the learner to better understand who they are as a learner. The learner profile allows for learners to express how their outside experiences have shaped their learning identity. Potential items that might be included in the learner profile are a learner's strengths, a learner's needs in the learning environment, such as music, movement, talking to process content, drawing, individual processing time, or brain breaks. The learner profile changes based on a learner's experience and development and is updated frequently. It allows for the educator and learner to intentionally build meaningful relationships to leverage desired outcomes, build a safe culture within the learning environment where learners are respected and feel safe to share and learn. Let's head to our next stop, which is where we are going to find the other 4 elements within our learning vision here at Mason City Schools. These include the learner path, outcomes, relationships, and environment. These elements are interwoven in conjunction with the learner profile to design the personal learning experiences. If you remember the slider tool, this resource would really come in handy along this stop. This allows us to determine what is the most appropriate entry point for both the educator and the learner. It is largely based on the learner profile. Let's first consider the learning path and pull the other elements in as we see relevant. The learning path is a learning experience design plan that begins by learners and educators first determining the learning outcomes. The learning outcomes include the relevant learning goals, which include the skills and mindsets that a learner will need to engage in the learning experience. Please reference the Mason City Schools Difference Makers at this time. Educators and learners can slide on the slider where it is appropriate for the learner based on the learning experience and their current learner profile reflections and feedback. The outcomes are frequently discussed and evaluated using two-way feedback that allows for the learner to engage on authentic reflection, self-assessment, and thus further refining their learning path. The learning path and learning experiences are situated in a learning environment that is flexible and responsive to the needs of the learner and learning experience and include grouping, time, and virtual spaces. Learners are able to articulate environmental needs in their learner profile, and it supports learners in their development as self-navigating learners. Time becomes a commodity that is flexible and part of the environment instead of fixed. It is used to support learning needs. Students utilize relationships in their learning path design to support their learning and become skilled at seeking out experts to enhance their learning experiences. Learners and educators become more adept at building relationships with experts, both face-to-face, within school, outside of school, and virtually to learn and build their own learning networks. Educators and learners evaluate their progress and performance using authentic and co-constructed evaluation tools that are supported by frequent feedback and frequent opportunities for refinement along the learning path. Personalized learning is an interwoven ecosystem of learners, where students rely on all 5 elements within the personalized learning environment and having educators sitting shoulder to shoulder with them along the personalized learning journey. Before we head back, it is important to remember that this is a progressively driven model and that there are classical and timeless components of good instruction that our educators are currently doing very well. While this is a change in how we think about learning, it is not because we are doing it wrong. It is because we get the opportunity to reimagine learning for ourselves, for our students, and for our community. It is an exciting time for Mason City Schools. I hope this brief tour gave you enough to feel a bit more comfortable and a bit more curious and inspired to want to learn more about the personalized learning journey. Our Personalized Learning 5 Design Elements tour has ended. The tools in your seat back are yours to keep. Thank you, and please remember to watch your step on your way out. Thank you for joining me, and have a great day.